All right, we're back. This is a new addition to our weekly releases, at least until we get through all of the content or the players that we're focusing on. This is a new series that we're going to do, getting to know Sooner recruits, just getting to know them, and we're going to basically start with including transfers. We're going to go through basically the lowest recruited guy, just to give you guys a preview of who they are, where they're from, what to expect from them, and how long they're going to be in the program, if they're transfers, and setting some expectations and what we think they can contribute. Sometimes the three stars that you don't really think are the big time people end up being great contributors, like Kenneth Murray and players like that. So without further ado, I mean, this is going to be a quick segment. It's going to be a weekly deal. We're going to be talking about Micah Bowens, the transfer from Penn State, and just talking about his what we think about him. So to start off, obviously, I'd imagine most people know he's a quarterback. He came from Penn State. His high school was Bishop Gorman, which is in Las Vegas, which is a big time high school. Definitely an area where OU is trying to get some roots as far as recruiting goes now, which is nice with DeMarco Murray out there, being from there. And then we'll go through his stats. I guess start with his senior year because it wasn't his greatest. He had 2,148 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns, 589 rushing yards, and 13 rushing touchdowns as a senior. In his best year, he had 2,770 passing yards, 29 passing touchdowns, 927 rushing yards, 15 TDs. Um, and obviously, reading those stats, you can definitely tell that he is a dual threat quarterback. He held offers from West Virginia, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Oregon, and obviously Penn State and a handful of other schools. Now that we've kind of gone through, talked about it, Brandon, Jose, let's get some opinions and what you think and some expectations for him this year, and obviously in the future. So either one of you want to start it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think Mike is going to be our backup for next year, just to get straight to the point with him. Caleb will probably get a red shirt, his for red shirt year. Almost every quarterback has that's come to Lincoln, at this early in their football career. I guess the last one was really just Spencer. He had to be a red shirt last year, so I don't expect that to be any different for Caleb, just so he can get acclimated to being in college, get familiar with the playbook. Micah will probably just be a quarterback like what Kyler did whenever it was Baker's last year, really just come in, big plays when it was just like a wildcat kind of situation, just make some big run so it can get the crowd excited. I mean, from what I've read about him, he's a really good guy. He wanted to be in Penn State just because he thought he'd really just fit in perfectly with what Trace McSorley was doing there before, but I guess just didn't pan out. Obviously, that's why he transferred. But all the coaches are super high on him. They expect him to be a leader for the team, definitely a leader with probably some of the younger guys. And they all mentioned that he's just a super quick learner. So definitely expect him to be someone that maybe is holding the tablet for Spencer and potentially for Caleb whenever they're on the sideline going through like what he saw as the play was progressing. Hopefully, showing them something that they're not saying potentially to ultimately make them better players, on the field and make sure that they're leading the team to W's every week.
Yeah. Brandon, what
Yeah.
are you thinking?
Yeah. He's obviously he's an athletic kid, very mobile, good arm. The immediate future, obviously, I'm going to agree with Jose. Kind of like we've all talked about a little bit before. It makes a lot of sense for him to be the number 2 quarterback right away. However, if knock on wood, we don't want anything to happen to Spencer Rattler. If Spencer Rattler does go down, I do see Caleb Williams kind of getting that red shirt pulled. So if it's a long-term season-ending injury, it's not going to be Bowens as high as we are or think the kid might be. And then, Chandler Morris type role this season. A couple gadget plays at the goal line could be fun. Running it in, maybe a Tim Tebow jump pass that he can bring to the offense. That's probably as far as I see him going. I mean, I don't. Do you guys see it being more of a role than that?
I mean, I would agree with you. I think this year, like you said, just more gadget plays. But I personally think he could be our starter for a year or two for us. So hear me out. It's crazy. So you've got Rattler this year, right?
Yeah.
So ideally, if everything goes right, he's going to be gone after this season. And remember, Bowens last year didn't lose his eligibility, so he's still a true freshman. He's going to get redshirted this year as a redshirt freshman, and then he'll be a redshirt freshman in the 2022 season. And the 2022 season would be ideally Caleb Williams. 2023 season would be probably Caleb Williams again. Malachi Nelson comes in the 2023 class, sits for a year as a redshirt freshman, and then Bowens would start as a redshirt junior for a year or two and have Nelson there to come
might
in.
have the oldest starting quarterback in college football history. I guess Brandon probably older, but this guy, if this happens, not only would it be ideal for him to be in college forever, but he's going to be like 26 25, 26 by the time that shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Brum's crazy ass philosophy, it adds up and it could make sense. The only problem I don't know of many kids who would be willing to just sit there and wait for that long. Maybe he really wants to play under Lincoln Riley. Maybe Lincoln Riley told him the same thing Brum said, and Brum's a genius, and we're going to be the ones who look stupid. But that's a long time to sit and wait. But I mean, unless the kid is maybe a meteorology major, maybe he's an engineering something. So this whole time he's getting to school for free, and then eventually he gets 1 year under Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, and Lincoln might be selling it to him like, listen, you might have to wait a while. I only need a year. I mean, you can be no one and then play for me for a year, and then you could be the next Kyler Murray and go number one. I mean, not that Kyler wasn't a no one, but he wasn't going to be number one before the season started. So it might be tough to sell to some kids, but he transferred here knowing that he's going to have the best of the best competition. And I really think the ability with him having 3 freshman seasons, and then that's also assuming he has no medical redshirt years. I mean, so if he stayed, pre-COVID year, redshirt year, redshirt freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, that's 6 years without any medical redshirts in there. So he could be here 7 years.
The problem is Oklahoma's the problem for him, good thing for Sooner fans and us, is that guy that is going to be the starting quarterback at Oklahoma, or at least, on the bench. It's always going to be a 5-star, somebody ridiculous. As long as Lincoln Riley is the quarterback, as the head coach at Oklahoma, the guy under center is going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah, I agree, but I think Malachi might come in redshirt his 2023 freshman season, and I think that might be the year Bowens plays 1 season and he might get drafted and leave.
I think that would be I hope Micah somehow this gets to Micah and he's thinking, oh shit, someone's onto something here. I'm gonna get to be a Sooner and get to play some time here.
That has to be the only way Lincoln sold him on the idea of coming to Oklahoma.
Maybe he just maybe he came here just to learn under Lincoln for a year and then go out and leave.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
To me makes the most sense too. But I love Brum's philosophy. I hope Brum has it right.
Bowens for 2023 quarterback. Start the countdown.
If you're right, then I'm pretty jealous of Micah. He gets free education. He gets to be in college forever. I mean, this guy doesn't have to start his adult life until he's almost 30.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
And then he'll get name, image, and likeness paychecks. He'll get to go.
But I think a lot of this Micah 2023 theory too will depend on how the team looks that season. If it's a downish year, and OU's maybe not expecting to compete in national title games or playoff games, then maybe I see it happening. But if they, if they're returning a number 5 to 10, offense in the country, defense in the country, with the exception of quarterback, and the defense is top 5 or 10, I don't think they roll with Micah Bowens. I think if they're in a win now mode, it'll probably be Malachi Nelson.
I mean,
Are you dissing our good brother?
But here's the deal. He's, like we've talked about, he's going to be ancient. He's going to been through everything at that point. I would
But still with
trust
no
him.
game experience.
It doesn't matter.
He might get a game here, a game there. Remember,
That stuff does matter.
You can play 4 games a year.
I agree. So when we're
shirt.
beating the brakes off of Tulane, 51-6 in the third quarter, he might come in and get a couple drives. But how relevant is that? How relevant is that game experience?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and maybe if he does transfer, I don't think we'll have a hard time finding a transfer quarterback for the 2023 season. Not so concerned about that just yet, but that's also assuming Rattler goes after this year and Caleb Williams leaves after 2 years. And then we need a bridge season to get to Malachi in 2024. Already planning it out.
But it makes sense. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
This is almost as crazy as when Cleveland came back 3-1. If it happened, it'll be a miracle, but it's possible.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna whenever
the Cubs came back 3-1 too.
That's not doesn't matter.
When it's August of 2023, we're gonna come back to this video. We're gonna replay this. And when he's
only if you're
snaps,
right.
Well,
if you're wrong, we'll let it go.
Yeah, no, then it never happened. But if I am right, I want to replay it. So
all right. Well,
I don't know.
See, that's how I felt about 2 weeks ago when I predicted perfectly Trey Brown to Seattle, and you guys decided to delete the video or something because I had it right.
There's no there's no evidence that even happened. So stop.
You guys know what happened.
Rumble also said Ronnie Perkins and Ramondre were going to be Patriots. Then we all called.
We
should have tuned into our coverage because we got it all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all we've got. Micah Bowens for starting QB 2023. Start the countdown. So,
let's make t-shirts.
Let's make t-shirts. Sounds good.
Micah Bowens 2023.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in. This will be a weekly deal. We'll highlight someone new every week, and to keep you guys informed, and we'll be able to follow along. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow 2 Plain Sports. We'll keep you up to date, and we'll see you on our Thursday video coming out. Thanks.